Peterson, and I'm about to enter the pinch zone with the American lobster. Here we go. If I asked you to name a single animal from the great state of Maine, I have a pretty good feeling you'd say the lobster. So today, the crew and I will be heading off the coast of Portland, Maine, on the rolling blue waves of the Atlantic Ocean to search for one of these marine-dwelling crustaceans. Well, here we are. It's beautiful Portland, Maine, and it is a big day for everybody out there watching, and it's a big day for me, because it's been almost a year since I promised that I would be pinched by a giant lobster. So today, we're going out on a lobster boat to look for one of these creatures. Now, I hear they have a crusher claw and a ripper claw.
What? A what claw?
A crusher and a ripper. So,
which one are you gonna get pinched by?
well, both of them, because we need to find out which one does more damage. So if you guys are ready, let's go meet our captain and head out on the water.
My money's on the ripper claw.
On this voyage out to sea, I will be working alongside Dave, a true lobsterman and seasoned captain of the Lucky Catch. He will be taking us out to check a handful of traps, also known as lobster pots, in which we hope to find a market-sized lobster that will ultimately be used to pinch my hand. Yes, you heard me right. Coyote Peterson is going to enter the pinch zone with an American lobster. He missed the wood! Oh, it's biting me! The striped-tailed scorpion, powerful sting. Ow! We all know I have taken many painful bites and stings, but not that many powerful pinches. In fact, aside from a few harmless crayfish and the Dungeness crab, this is poised to be my first major pinch. Wow, that's pretty bad! Many people have warned me that a lobster's pinch is powerful enough to break my hand. I know this sounds crazy, but I have my doubts. So the goal is to put this pinch to the test, so that we can all find out just how painful it really is. But before I can get pinched, first, we have to catch a lobster.
Here comes our first trap. And we got a lobster.
We got a little one.
All right. Now, this lobster we're gonna measure to see if it makes the legal size.
Yeah.
In order for us to keep it, it's gotta be at least 3 1/4 inches across the back. That's called the carapace.
Yeah.
We measure from the back of the eye to where the back meets the tail. And this one is a little small. It's gotta go back.
So this little guy is gonna live to swim another day.
It's going back.
All right. This is something that's pretty cool that Dave just showed me. See the ripper claw there? Kind of zoom in and you see all those little hairs on the edges? It is serrated, but there's also soft hairs. And watch this. Just any sort of sensitivity to those and it will snap its claw shut. So I have a feeling that later on when I put my finger into the ripper claw, it's gonna lock shut. All right, this one's going back out into the ocean. You ready, little crustacean? Here we go, ready? See ya. Believe it or not, as a lobsterman, you are first and foremost a conservationist. Only lobsters of market size can be harvested from the ocean, and females who are carrying eggs, no matter what their size, are always returned to the wild. What's interesting is they don't seem to have as much of a reach as some of the crayfish that I've worked with before.
As far as like reaching behind?
Yeah, as far as the reach and where they're able to get you with their claws. I feel more comfortable actually handling a lobster than I do most crayfish species. Yeah, that one's way too small. So it's gonna head back out into the water. Ready? We motored from buoy to buoy and pulled trap after trap. Yet so far, we had returned each and every lobster back into the ocean. Then when it seemed as if all was lost, we pulled up the lucky catch.
Could this be the one? Oh, that's a pretty good size one.
Right.
Oh wow, that one looks huge.
Oh, nice.
Look at the size of that. Slide this down, right?
Yep.
Oh man, that could be the one right there. You see that? Wow, look at the pinchers on that thing.
I don't know, man.
Dude, that one is definitely big. I'm gonna take it out, hold on. It's cool to take this out, right?
Yeah, just be careful.
Man, dude.
Oh, there's one in the corner there.
Yeah, I see it. No, this one is definitely the biggest we've caught so far today. What? Look at that. That's probably what? At least 1.5 pounds or 2 pounds, right?
Over 2 pounds, I'd say.
Look at those pinchers. Oh my gosh, dude, I think this is the one. You think we're gonna get one bigger than this today?
I doubt it. That's a big one.
What? Look at that lobster.
I don't know, man.
Dude, that is a big crusher claw. Man, it is strong. Look at that ripper claw. I think that we have found our winning lobster. All right, let's get him into the water. Woo! All right, guys, and we are back in a controlled setting, and we're about to get up close with the American lobster. Now, I have one in this tank right here. Let me go ahead and take it out. Whoa, come here, buddy. Oh yeah, there we go. Hello to you too. That's a defensive mechanism right there, whacking with the tail. Now you may be saying to yourself, wow, that looks a lot smaller than the lobster you pulled out of the pot earlier today. And as a matter of fact, it is. We're gonna show you a little bit about the anatomy of this crustacean before we actually get into the pinch. Now let's start at the tip of the nose and go all the way down to the tail. The American lobster is the heaviest and longest living crustacean in the entire world. They can weigh as much as 40 pounds and people estimate can live as long as 100 years. Now you may be thinking to yourselves, Coyote, I thought lobsters were red. This creature is got black spots, it's got a little bit of blue near its joints, and for the most part, it looks like the bottom of the ocean. That's because lobsters are only red after they are cooked. And good news for Lucy here is that both her and Lonnie, the big one that we have just back here, are both going to be released into the ocean as soon as we are done filming. Now, just like a crab or a crayfish, lobsters do have gills. However, they can be out of water for a significant amount of time. You may be saying, well, Coyote, dip it back in the water. And I will. It's good for it to be dipped in there. But a lobster can stay out of the water for around 2 hours before it ultimately suffocates. So these creatures are extremely durable. Now, on my left over here, you have what's called the crusher claw. And on my right, what's called the pincher or the ripper claw. Now, the way that these lobsters use their claws is they'll take the crusher and find something like a mollusk or a clam and use that claw, which has incredible power, to crush the shell of its prey. Then they use the pincher or the ripper claw to pull out the meat and they slowly eat it. And you can see, I'm gonna turn this lobster like this. See all these other little pinchers up front here? These front legs are also used to help shovel the food into the mouth, which is right down in there. Now, one of my favorite parts about the lobster are these antennae. You see that? Now, lobsters have poor eyesight because they live on the basin of the ocean. These antennae are sensory organs, and they shape out like this, like a Y. Can you see that? And they use these to detect movement and chemicals in the environment. This helps them find prey, it helps them communicate with other lobsters, and it helps them to navigate beneath the ocean. Ooh, and you know what this lobster is doing right now? It's actually peeing out of its face.
What?
Yeah, that's probably one thing that most people did not realize about lobsters is that their urinary glands are actually on the side of the face, and they can shoot streams of urine up to 6 feet underwater, and that helps them communicate with other lobsters. I see that. You were just trying to pee on me. I'm peed on and pooped on by almost everything that I work with. Now, you see there are some bubbles coming out of the front of the lobster, right? So what the lobster's actually doing is aerating its gills by blowing bubbles. Now let's talk about the movement of a lobster. This body design is very similar to an insect, and technically, lobsters are arthropods, so they're related to bugs. And their body structure is very similar to many insect species, including this hard outer exoskeleton. Now, when a lobster is underwater, they move forward slowly, using their pinchers and their legs to propel themselves forward. They look for food, they catch it, they crush it, they tear it apart, and they eat it. But if something comes into the environment that is a potential predator, what they will do is quickly shoot themselves backwards using, see these little flipper things down here? These are called swimmerettes. And then the tail is technically called the telson. That's this big flipper on the back here.
Looks like a whale tail.
It does, right? And they're able, this is all muscle right here, right? And what they'll do is whoosh, shoot themselves backwards, usually into a crevice or into a hole, and then they escape the potential predator.
Awesome. So I have a quick question. How do these things grow? I mean, you said up to 40 pounds. How does that work?
Yes, lobsters at this size, this lobster is probably around 7 years old, and they are very, very, very slow growers. So for a lobster to reach 40 pounds, let's say, so that's considered a mammoth, right? For a lobster to reach 40 pounds, it would probably be somewhere between 70 and 100 years of age. How crazy is that?
Whoa, they can live 100 years?
100 years, or so they think. Nobody really knows for sure exactly how long, but just like turtles and tortoises, that's what scientists think, close to 100 years. Well, I think at this juncture, we're gonna put Lucy back into this tank of water. And if you guys are ready, I think it's time to get Lonnie out and see just how powerful both the Crusher and the Ripper Claw really are. Are you guys ready?
Let's bring in Lonnie.
All right, let's do it. And what we're gonna do, you ready?
Yeah.
Mario, you got a good shot?
Yep.
We're gonna take, oh boy. Come here, Lonnie. Oh, he's a beaster. All right, we're gonna place Lonnie inside. Well, he barely fits in there.
That is a massive lobster.
Woo!
Okay, Coyote, this is your last and final chance to call this off and save your hands.
Ooh, yeah. Nope, I'm gonna go through with it, guys. I think if there was ever a time to be pinched by a giant lobster, it is this precise moment. You guys ready?
I don't know, man. I just feel like, I don't know, I got this gut feeling like this is a really bad idea.
All right, guys, now because these crustaceans lose a lot of their power quickly, this is gonna happen pretty much immediately. So what I'm gonna do is actually pick Lonnie up out of the tank and gently set him down, and then boom, my hand is gonna go right into the Crusher Claw. So I'm gonna give you guys the countdown while he's still in the water, okay?
Okay, so just to recap, you're gonna take Lonnie out of the tank, put him onto the crate, and then your left hand is going right in the Crusher Claw.
Crusher Claw first, Ripper Claw second. So without further ado, I'm Coyote Peterson, and I'm about to enter the pinch zone with the American lobster. Are you ready?
We're ready.
1, 2, here we go. 3.
What's happening? Is he pinching?
He's not doing anything at all.
Nothing.
Nothing at all.
So you're all right.
I'm completely all right. That's my hand in the pincher of a lobster.
Maybe he likes you. All right, let's rethink this.
I thought this lobster was just gonna straight up pinch me. Maybe I should just try the Ripper Claw. You guys ready for that?
I guess. Man, I can't believe he didn't pinch you.
I'm at a loss for words, to be honest with you, but we shall prevail. I'm Coyote Peterson, and I'm about to enter the pinch zone with the Ripper Claw of the American lobster. 1, 2, here we go. 3. He has absolutely no interest in pinching me.
Wow, that was really unexpected.
I was ready for pain. All right, guys, well, this is not going according to plan. This lobster has no interest in pinching me. The little one was, this is true. I could get the little one out and see if that one will pinch me.
I'd say that's better than nothing.
Okay, let's try it. I'm just gonna leave this big one here and bring the little one into the scene.
All right.
All right, ready?
Yep. The little one is back, and its claws are open.
Ready?
So crush your claw.
Crush your claw. Here we go.
Ready?
Yep. Not much power. Barely. Barely. I mean, not even compared to the Dungeness crab. Let's try the Ripper Claw. Ready?
Yep.
Nothing. I mean, it's pinching, but not even close to as powerful as the Dungeness crab. I mean, not even close. No chance it's even gonna break skin. Wow. Well. I think we're at a crossroads here where it's almost like, is the pinch of a lobster more of a myth? I mean, I've heard stories of people getting their hands completely crushed by lobsters. Let me try one more time with that Ripper Claw. Ready? 1, 2, 3. No power.
Really?
That is all bark, no bite. Yeah, it's latched onto my hand. I can feel it squeezing down. No power.
Really?
Like I could pull my hand right out of there.
Like it doesn't want to pinch you.
Not all things go according to plan. And while you may be thinking to yourself, Coyote didn't get pinched. Looks like he's gonna escape this one unscathed. Well, we're not gonna give up that easily.
All right, well, we're back. And it is a lot colder out, and as you can see, it's gotten dark. In fact, it's so cold that I can see my breath, and now I'm wearing a scarf. So hopefully this will help in getting these lobsters to pinch me. So without further ado, let's see if changing the setting, nighttime and much colder, helps in getting pinched by one of these giants.
Let's go for it.
You ready? 1, 2, 3. And pinch me. Nothing. Look at that. He's immediately just thinking flight. That's what that mechanism is right there, of flicking the tail. Let me get away, not using the claws to defend itself. Now, part of me wonders if these claws aren't so big that when he's out of the water, that he's not even capable of holding them up to pinch me. But even see down like this, watch. Just not interested in pinching. All right, buddy, I'm gonna put you back into the aquarium.
Maybe Lonnie's too nice.
Lonnie is your neighborhood friendly lobster. I'm gonna get the smaller one out of the bucket. Let's try this with the smaller one.
Okay.
Sound good? Okay, so in the blue bucket here, we have the smaller lobster.
Okay.
Are you ready for this? Nothing.
Really?
It's, there is some pressure there. Ooh. Yep, there is pressure, but definitely not what I was expecting. Here comes the other claw. Let's see if it will pinch down with that one. Let's see if we can do 2 claws at the same time. Here we go. Oh no! For a brief second, that was it. That definitely left a mark. Look at the back side of my hand. Can you see that?
Yeah, a little pinch.
That was a little pinch. Look at this side. Let's try one more. Ready?
Anything?
Nothing. I mean, I was pinched, in all fairness. It wasn't that bad, though. Not even close to the pinch of the Dungeness crab. And it was almost more of a warning pinch where it was like, I'm just gonna hold on. And then the pressure resided and it let go. I don't know, these lobsters seem to be pretty friendly. I think we have busted the myth. I don't think that a lobster is capable of giving you a very powerful pinch.
Well, I have one more idea.
I'm all for it.
So I think what we have here are friendly lobsters, and what we need are angry lobsters. And you know, if I was a lobster, it would make me angry being at a lobster house restaurant.
Oh, like you're about to be cooked? Do you think these lobsters like understand that we're handling them gently? We love these lobsters. I mean,
I think they're smart like that. I think, you know, who knows? Maybe their intelligence is beyond what we expected.
In all fairness, I guess that could be possible. So you're thinking we go to a lobster restaurant, and we are in Maine. There are lobster restaurants everywhere, and maybe we pick out one of their lobsters, save it from ending up in the pot, and see if it will pinch me?
I'm saying, yeah, let's try to go find ourselves an angry lobster. I mean, there's a lot of them out there. One of them's got to want to pinch you.
I kind of feel like there is still one stone left to be unturned. I say let's wait until morning, go find a lobster restaurant, and see if we can get me pinched.
Let's do it.
All right. All right, guys, this is it. Day 2 in my attempt to find out, does a lobster pinch actually hurt? Now, we're here at Estes Lobster House, which is a famous restaurant in town, which is known for having some incredibly angry lobsters. So what we're gonna do this morning is go behind the scenes, get up close with one of these crustaceans, and see if it will actually pinch me. You guys ready?
I'm ready.
All right, let's do it. All right, guys, this is it, behind the scenes. And look at this. It's a trough filled with fresh lobsters. Guess we'll see if any of them are angry. You guys ready? Now these are all considered market size, so they're around 1.5 pounds to 2 pounds. So that's about the size of our largest lobster we had yesterday. It was 2.3 pounds, considered a large lobster. So if we're right in that range, I think it's probably a pretty fair test. Man, that's a whopper of a claw right there. Look how it hooks over. That might actually break skin. All right, you guys ready?
Yeah.
GoPro is rolling. Oh boy. I think that thing is ready to crush. All right, guys, I'm gonna dip the lobster, bring it up, and then whap, put my hand in there. You ready?
Let's do it.
I am actually nervous now. I'm Coyote Peterson, and I'm about to enter the pinch zone with a giant lobster. Ready?
Do this.
1, 2, 3. Ah! 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 Wow, it's actually worse this time. Ah! Ah! That's a lot worse than yesterday. Ah! 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 Wow, oh yeah, he got me good. Ah! Oh man, my hand's shaking. Wow, that is a huge difference from yesterday. Ah, man.
Oh yeah.
Oh gosh. Definitely didn't break bone. All right, let's try the ripper claw. You ready? 1, 2, 3. Ah! 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 Wow, that's a lot sharper. Ah! 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 Okay, nope, he's locked on. Ah, okay, this is definitely a lot different than the lobsters we had yesterday. 100%. Ah! Yeah, that ripper claw is locked onto my hand. Look at that. Ah!
What's the pressure feel like?
Ah! It's about the same as the Dungeness crab, I would say, but it's a lot sharper. Ah! 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 And every time I try to move my hand just a little bit, he locks down tighter. Ah! All right, maybe if I set it down in the water, they'll come off.
You think it's pop through your skin?
Yeah, maybe. It's tough to tell. There's a bunch of tiny little teeth. The serrated edges are digging in. Oh, yeah, it hurts on the back of my hand for sure. You can see that. I try to pull my hand out. It is locked in there. I can't actually pull my hand out. I'm gonna have to dip it in the water. 1, 2, 3. Oh, let go, let go, let go. Ah, he's pinching down harder. Ah! 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 Ah!
Good.
Yikes! Wow, okay, well that was a huge difference from yesterday. Look at the impressions in my hand and a couple little blood blister type points where it really locked in. Ow! Dude, I can feel my hand kind of swelling up a little bit. Okay, well, I would say that was successful. Much more powerful than the lobsters that we were working with yesterday. Without question, that is a much more powerful pinch, but a lobster this size, probably just around 2 pounds, was not capable of breaking skin or breaking bone.
So, do we know why this lobster decided to pinch hard and the ones that we caught didn't?
Well, here's my guess, is that this water is significantly colder than the water where we have our lobsters. Now,
Oh wow.
see how cold that is?
Way colder.
That is very representative of the temperature of the water that would be at the basin of the ocean where these crustaceans live. It was also very dark in here. We came in and we lit it, and they don't normally have these lights on, so the lobster feels like it's completely in its natural environment. And I'll tell you what, in the back of Andy's mind, he may also know that him and all of his friends could be next up on the dinner plate. But the good news for this lobster is that we're going to purchase it and release it back out into the wild. Well guys, I think we figured it out. All you have to do is find an angry lobster and you'll successfully get your hand pinched. Whew.
When it comes to this animal's powerful pinch, what I learned is that lobsters aren't necessarily prone to pinching, especially once they have been taken from the depths of the ocean. However, with that in mind, if you come across an angry lobster like Andy, the power behind those claws is pretty impressive. And I can say with confidence that a lobster above the weight of 2 pounds could very likely break bone. So if you handle one, I strongly urge you to steer clear of those pinchers.
All right guys, this is the moment we've all been waiting for. We're going to release the lobsters back out into the wild. I'm gonna do it one at a time. The first one to be released is going to be little Lucy. Let me take the rubber band off her crusher claw there. There we go. And I'm gonna place her deeper out in the water.
If I could save every lobster from the fate of a dinner plate, you better believe I would. However, lobster fishing is an incredibly important part of Maine's economy. And while many of these bizarre-looking crustaceans are frequently caught for human consumption, it's important to remember that lobstermen are conservationists first, and it's the management and preservation of this species that keeps the industry alive. If there is one ecosystem on the planet that is constantly changing, it has to be the tide pools. With every single rising and falling of the tide, new waves crash upon the rocks and alter the placement of plants and animals. Along the coast of California, there are a slew of creatures that you can find, if you know exactly where to look. Got a little striped crab right here. Oh, got it. There's definitely no shortage of crabs out here in these tide pools. However, navigating this terrain can be difficult because most of the rocks are wet and slippery. One of the toughest things so far for me in filming Beyond the Tide has been the terrain. I'm used to swamps and deserts. Everything here is rocky and slippery. It's all covered in a layer of, I guess it's some sort of algae, and using a lot of eye-foot coordination because I'm looking for creatures, and every step I take, your foot might slip off of something, and these rocks are extremely jagged. Really easy to get hurt out here, and I'm sure for you, Mark, it's even more difficult. Right now you're balancing on these rocks just trying to get the shots. Yep. Show everybody at home. It isn't easy, is it?
Nope.
All right, well, let's keep going this way and see what we can find. Watch your footing. Oh, yep, see, there you go. I'm usually pretty good at finding animals in the field, but sometimes a wildlife expert joins us to help locate the species that can be very difficult to find. Today I am back out with tide pool expert Aaron Sanchez, who has been exploring these Southern California pools his entire life. And our goal is to locate a giant sea slug. All right, Aaron, so we're here at the tide pools and we're looking for slugs. What should I be keeping my eye out for?
Well, Coyote, these slugs are going to be pretty hard to miss. They're actually the largest sea slug on the planet. They come to these rocky shores here to mate and lay their eggs.
Okay, now when you say the largest, do you mean like 5 to 6 inches in length, or are we talking bigger?
We're talking probably almost a little bit less than 3 feet.
A 3-foot slug? So it's gonna be pretty hard to miss.
Yeah.
All right, let's start searching. The search was on, and I was confident that I could come across one of these giants. I mean, if they're as big as Aaron says they are, spotting one should be simple, right? Hi, we've been searching for about 45 minutes now through all these layered rocks. I don't know, Aaron said it was gonna be easy. Nothing yet. We continued to search over jagged outcrops, in crevices, through knee-deep pools, and even under rocks. I'd say the odds of finding one of these slugs are slim to none.
Tide's really coming in.
Yeah, it's coming in big time, and all I've seen is crabs, crabs, crabs. Hermit crabs, striped crabs, purple shore crabs. No giant slugs. With the tide starting to come back in, it was looking like our search for the giant sea slug was coming to an end. But if anyone knows how to find a sea creature, it's definitely Aaron. Searching, searching. No big slugs. Yeah! Oh, you got one? Come on, come on, come on. Right over here, guys. It's huge. Oh my gosh, look at the size of that thing. Wow! Dude! Yes! Well, that was one heck of a search. And there it is. Can I pick it up?
You can. It's totally safe.
And it's not gonna ink me.
It might be a little slimy, but that's it.
Whoa, look at that.
Whoa.
All right, here we go. Oh my gosh, is it slimy. Oh, look at that slug. Oh my gosh, it is heavy. Jeez, this thing must be about almost 10 pounds, I would guess.
Is that a big one, Aaron?
Oh, it's a pretty good size, yeah. It's one of the bigger ones I've seen.
I'm gonna let it stretch out of my arm, see if we can get it to fully elongate itself. Oh my gosh, it is so slimy. All right, now tell us about this slug, Aaron.
Well, Coyote, what he's wrapping around your arm right now is actually his muscular foot. He uses that to get around.
I can feel him gripping onto my arm. I mean, I can feel him actually like wrapping around me, and I can feel his little tongue under there. Can't bite, right?
No, these guys are vegetarians. They mostly eat algae and kelp.
And it does have an internal shell, correct, where it has all of its organs?
It does have an internal shell. It's kind of soft and made of protein.
Okay.
And that is actually what these extensions of its foot called parapodia are protecting.
I can see why there's no way you would miss stumbling upon one of these. I have to admit, I was just over there talking to Mark. I literally said, I'm really doubting our chances of finding one of these slugs. All we've seen all day is crabs and smaller little brown sea hares.
Which, by the way, we should grab one of those. Isn't there one over here? Let's see them next to each other.
Yeah. All right, you got one of those brown sea hares? Okay, so this is cool, showing the comparison of the giant black sea slug next to the much smaller brown sea slug. And they're both called sea hares, because as you can see, those tentacles sticking up in the air in the front of the head look like rabbit's ears.
I thought the brown sea hare was big.
Yeah, seriously, there is no mistaking the difference between these two species. Wow, that thing is absolutely massive. It weighs about 10 pounds, and fully stretched out, it's about 2 feet in length. That is crazy, and it is so unbelievably slippery. It's actually really hard to hold on to it, and my hands and arms right now are covered in a slippery mucus. Now, are they toxic in any way?
No, they're not.
Okay, so I'm in no danger right now. So they don't bite, they're not toxic, they're just slimy and alien looking. So how do these defend themselves against predators?
Well, you know, these guys don't have as many predators as the California sea hare, probably due to their size.
Okay.
So they would generally just kind of stick to where they are, and they're going to be pretty well hidden in these rocks.
I can't even imagine what would want to try to eat this. And it's just so amazing how big this slug is. When you said to me, yeah, we're gonna go out, we're gonna catch a giant slug, I honestly didn't believe you when you said they could grow to be about 2 feet in length. And until I actually had this animal in my hand, really on my arm, I didn't believe it. This is absolutely amazing. Well, Aaron, thank you so much for having us out today to explore the tide pools here in San Pedro. I think there's no question about it. This is one big black slug. We gently placed these two slimy slugs back into their respective pools and watched as they slowly returned to the wild. I think it's fair to say that these creatures are as primordial as it gets. And while they may be incredibly bizarre looking, they are an important part of the tide pool ecosystem. The cold blue water of the Salish Sea is unlike anything I have ever seen. It's an intricate maze of waterways scattered with various island chains, and beneath the surface, a kingdom of animals that are seldom encountered. I'm gonna touch it, you ready? However, if you find yourself along its incredible stretch of shoreline, or even better, on the edge of one of its many islands, you stand the chance of coming across intertidal marine animals. Today, the crew and I will be venturing by way of boat to the uninhabited Doe Island. A satellite landmass adjacent Orcas Island, it can be explored from its northernmost point to its southernmost point in under 30 minutes. While there are very few animals living within the interior, at low tide the shoreline is peppered with bizarre sea creatures. So it was only a matter of looking in the right places to find some that we could get in front of the cameras. All right. It is just us and the island. Wow. It's a really cool feeling to come onto a spot that is completely uninhabited, free of humans. Anything is possible. What we're really after today is the marine life that's hiding in and amongst these rocks. Now it is low tide. As you can see, all this kelp, algae, and seagrass is going to be extremely slippery. So watch your ankles, guys. This is not the kind of place that you want to twist one and end up hobbling across this terrain. So let's go up this direction and hopefully come across some cool animals. All right, well, here's something we didn't expect. We got through all this dense underbrush, and right in the middle of the island is a trail. It should make traversing it to the other side much simpler. All right, guys, look at this. The tide is all the way back from here. That is perfect tide pooling area. I see some pockets right there filled with eelgrass. See some kelp down in there. This is gonna be perfect for finding marine creatures. All right, let's go. That's a big piece of driftwood. Whoa, this pocket's full of little snails. Look at all those little guys. Oh, look at this.
What you got?
I don't know if you can zoom in there. Look at that little crevice. Can you see back here?
Oh, I got it. Yeah, I see something there. What is that?
That's called a sea lemon. Now, I can see it's got its little sensory organs out. And see that little frilly cluster in the back there? Mm-hmm. Right there? Those receptors help them sense chemicals in the environment. And that's how these creatures move about and study their environment. All right, I'm gonna get it now. You ready?
Yep, go for it.
Okay, real slowly here. You're gonna be very gummy. Oh, come here, buddy. All right, yep, tucked all in. There it is. That's a sea lemon, also known as a droid, and it has very warty skin. Sometimes you can find these and they're real bright yellow. That's why they're called sea lemons. And they also have these very distinct little black specklings all over their backs.
Does it smell like a lemon?
Good question. Nope, it smells like a slug. And they are related to slugs and mollusks. And if I turn it up like this, you see the underside there? There's its foot. Pretty cool, huh?
Very lemony looking.
Yeah, it's like a big gummy lemon. Look at that, just like the warty sea cat that we found in Costa Rica, it just kind of turns into a glob when you hold it in your hands. All right, you guys ready to put this sea lemon back under the log?
Let's do it.
Okay, but before we do, I got a quick tongue twister for you. Ready?
All right.
Not all lemons are sea lemons, but all sea lemons live in the sea. Try saying that 10 times fast.
Not all lemons are sea lemons. Yep, yeah, do it.
Yeah, not easy, is it? All right, here we go. Bye, little guy. Right there. Give it a second to grab on. Okay. The sea lemon may not be the most difficult animal to catch. However, finding one is said to be good luck, as they are an indicator species and signal a very healthy ecosystem. This gave me a strong sense of confidence because if the environment is free of pollutants, that means more creatures to find. What? Nothing? I thought that one's gonna yield something amazing. All right, look at this one. This is kind of neat to note. Look at how all of this seaweed has completely matted down and dried up in the sunlight. So underneath this is where an animal would potentially find refuge from the sun once the tide has gone out. Okay. Come on, lucky rock.
Whoa!
Whoa! Jeez! Look at this. It is a huge prickleback. Wow, that is the biggest one I've ever seen. And this, let me look at its face. I believe this is a rock prickleback, and I can tell that based on the distinct stripe marking right there on the front of its head. Look at that, it's huge. Now, you look at this creature, you're probably thinking to yourself, Coyote, that's an eel, that's not a fish. As a matter of fact, it is a fish. It's not a true eel at all, despite the fact that it really looks like one. Now, it's impossible for me to completely keep this thing still. There we go, settle down right there. Now zoom in there on the head of this animal, Mark. Okay. You see those distinct stripes?
I do.
That's how I was able to identify it as a rock prickleback. There's several prickleback species in this area, but this is the largest. And this may look big to you and me. This is the biggest one I've ever caught, but they can grow to be about 3 feet in length.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
So, Coyote, is it slimy or is it slippery? What's it like?
It's incredibly slimy and slippery. And here's something really cool about these pricklebacks. They can actually breathe air. They breathe underwater with their gills, and then when the tide goes out, they can stay out of the water for several hours breathing air. Now notice that ridge that runs along its back. That dorsal spine, that has little tiny spikes on it. And I can feel that, kind of like the fins of a bluegill. and it's not sharp enough to necessarily prick me, but they use that to help themselves balance when swimming underwater.
So Coyote, these fish, can they dry out? Because we found them out of water, like there's no water under these rocks.
Well, they can't dry completely out. So if it was sitting out on a rock in the sun, that would obviously kill it. But underneath the rock, even if there's no water, they can secrete a mucus from their skin. That keeps them wet and slippery. I do keep dipping it into the water. Here, watch this. So if I just kind of keep its head cupped and dip it in, that allows it to stay cool and moist. And I think at this point, it's probably safe to say we can release this prickleback back off into the ocean. You ready?
Good idea, let's do it.
Watch it swim out of my hand. There you go, buddy.
There he goes.
All right, let's keep searching.
With what seemed like an endless supply of smaller rocks to carefully search beneath, we also found ourselves maneuvering over and around massive boulders that were exposed by the low tide. And while these massive rock structures would not be possible to overturn, searching for animals in their crevices was a perfect place to look.
Oh, a good shaded spot here. Look, this is still wet and slippery. Oh, look at that right there. See that? That's
rock?
a chitin. Nope, that's a chitin. It looks like a barnacle or part of the rock. That's actually a mollusk. Hold on a second. I'm gonna see if I can gently get it off here. They really suction on the rocks. I got it. Hold on.
Coming on?
Yeah. Here we go. There we go. Whoa, look at the underside of that thing. Looks just like the foot of a slug, doesn't it?
So it's not a barnacle.
No, it's not a barnacle. This is a mollusk. They're related to slugs and snails. Now, this is a small species. I'm not sure which species. If you look at the back there, you see all these armor plates that run down the center. Those are called vents. And believe it or not, the largest species of chitin lives in this area, and that's honestly what I'm hoping we come across today. The tide is low enough, it's just a matter of being in the right place at the right time and finding the right series of rocks. All right, I'm gonna place this one right back here in the shade. There we go. All right, let's keep moving. Try to find the giant gumboot.
Gum what?
Gumboot chitin.
So far, aside from the prickleback, everything we were finding was rather small. That is until I jumped between two boulders and found myself in the land of giants.
A lot of hermit crab. Oh, what's that? What's a little sea cucumber again? Oh my goodness, look at this.
What? I can't see.
Oh, look at the size of that sea star.
Whoa.
And it's purple. What? Have you ever seen a sea star that big before?
No, I've never seen one that purple either. Wow.
That is a first for me.
I think that could be our star.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Guys,
What?
this is one thing I'd hope we'd find.
Is there a bigger one?
No, look at this. Ah, I got it. Oh, look at that.
What is that?
That's a gumboot.
What's a gumboot?
It's a chitin. It is actually a type of mollusk related to snails and slugs. And I think between the two of these, we have found our feature creatures. All right, actually the tide is starting to come back in at this point. Let's move up a little ways and get these two up close for the cameras. Woo, this is awesome. Woo!
How'd we do?
I would say that was quite possibly the most successful tide pool adventure we have ever had. Now, most of the animal species that we found, we showed you quickly and then we released them right back into the wild. But our two feature creatures, we just had to take some time to get up close for the camera. Now I'm gonna reach into the bucket here. I did bring a bucket just in case we found something that was worth holding on to for a little bit of time.
Because you can see the tide is all in now.
Yeah, the tide is coming back in pretty quickly, so we only have a few minutes with these animals, but if you're ready, let's go for the first one. You set?
Let's see him.
Okay, here we go. This is the largest sea star I have ever seen. Look, he's got algae and kelp all over his little tube feet there.
And it's purple.
It is purple. Now, I will give you one guess as to what type of sea star this is. Wait, here's a hint. What color is it?
Great.
Close. And a good guess. It is a purple sea star, and this is one of the largest species that you can find off the Pacific coast. And honestly, it is the biggest sea star I have ever handled. Look at this thing. All right, I'm gonna gently peel off a little bit of this kelp and algae from its tube feet. Yeah, clean you up here, buddy. Now, I'm gonna turn it, and let's look at the underside. Check this out. See all these little white things that look like spaghetti noodles?
Those are called tube feet. Now, they have thousands of these, and they're used to slowly move over the surface of rocks when they're underwater. And actually, believe it or not, I say slowly move over rocks. When a sea star needs to, it actually can travel pretty quickly. Now, aside from movement, these tube feet are also used to help them catch and consume their prey. Now, what they primarily feast on are mollusks and clams, and what they will do is, let's say my hand is a mollusk, right? And you know how they close up in their shell like this? What it will do is completely engulf the mollusk, wrap its arms around, and then use all of its power to peel the shell slightly open. Then they take their mouth, they actually evert their mouth and stomach, right? So that means that their mouth and stomach comes out of the center of their body. They release digestive enzymes into their prey. It breaks down the prey's body, right? So it essentially kills them, poisons them, and then they're able to suck all of that delicious flesh into their mouths, and they have a meal. And you wanna know something really gross? After they've consumed their food, they actually poop it right back out of that same hole.
Ew.
Mouth and butt right in the same spot. How crazy is that?
That's disgusting.
Totally disgusting, but what an interesting tide pool creature. And without question, the largest sea star I have ever seen. Now, I know in past episodes of Beyond the Tide, we've shown you guys the little bat stars and a couple of smaller species, but this thing is about as big as my face. Now, one cool thing that we do know about sea stars is that if they lose a limb, it can regenerate. So let's say it gets stuck in a rock, or a bird or some other sort of predator comes in and bites off one of these legs, it's not gonna kill the sea star. It's called caudal autonomy, and it will eventually grow that limb back. Now, this is a very common species up and down the Pacific coast, and they're pretty simple to find when the tide is at its absolute lowest. Pretty cool, huh?
The purple sea star.
Purple sea star. All right, I'm gonna put this back into the bucket, and let's bring out our big star. You ready for this?
All right, guess number 2, let's do it.
All right, let me get it out of here.
Whoa.
Look at that. This is, in my opinion, one of the most bizarre creatures we could have come across. Kind of reminds me of the black sea hare, but it's not as squishy. Now, this chitin is very unique amongst other chitin species because I'm gonna turn it this way. Now, the one that we showed you earlier had these distinct valves that ran across the length of the back. They're kind of like armor plating. Now, this variety does also have those valves, but they're covered in this thick, rugged skin. This skin is called the girdle. Now, you're probably thinking, what does that feel like? Is it real slimy? It's not. Go ahead, Mark, put your hand out there and touch the back of that chitin.
It's like an elephant or something.
It is. It feels like an elephant or rhinoceros skin. Now, this is very tough, very durable. Not only helps keep them camouflaged, but also protects them against potential predators.
Now, this one is red. We saw some smaller ones earlier, and they were like brown.
Yeah, that's true. And this red coloration, I don't know exactly why it's red. You would think maybe it stays in kelp, and perhaps that's what keeps it camouflaged. Kelp is kind of this reddish-orange coloration. They do feed on primarily algae, so I don't know. That tough skin, though, definitely is going to defend it against any potential predators.
So what part am I looking at? Is there a head? Is there?
Oh yeah, let's look at the anatomy of the gumboot. It's very strong, so I can only kind of hold it open there. Now, just like a slug, they have a foot. That's right in the middle here.
Okay.
That big area down there. And they also have a mouth, which is tucked in underneath here. And inside that mouth is a radula. Now, radula is kind of like a scrapey tongue, right? It's covered in these little teeth, and they use that to drag across rocks where they feast on algae, which is their primary source of food. So this is an herbivore. Now, behind these flaps, you see these right here? They have gills, just like a brown or a black sea hare. We can't expose those. I'd have to actually peel them back, and I don't think it will be too happy if I do that, but they use those to breathe underwater. Now, most chitin species are capable of really suctioning onto rocks. This species, though, actually is not able to hold on very tightly, so oftentimes rough waves will peel them from the rocks, and you'll see them washed up on shore like this, just facing upright, and unfortunately, they aren't able to flip over, and they bake in the sun and die. So, we definitely need to return this creature back to the water and hopefully up underneath a big, strong rock.
But they could actually live out of water for quite a while, right?
They can, and as long as they stay positioned downward like this and flatten out their bodies, they can stay out of water for a considerable amount of time.
So are they like a hedgehog in the sense they can curl up in a ball like that, or?
Well, that's a good question. Well, we know hedgehogs are mammals. This is not a mammal, this is a mollusk. And they can curl up to about there, right? It's not gonna curl completely into a ball, but what it's doing right now is protecting its foot, its mouth,
and its gills, which are right behind these flaps here. And I guess these must be parapodia, just like a black sea hare has very soft, kind of flexible parapodia. These are very dense, very tough muscles right there.
So it basically can curl up into like a Pac-Man shape.
Yeah, pretty much. You look at it from the side there, that's like a giant Pac-Man. Also kind of looks like an alien creature that would maybe suction onto your face, but it's not gonna do that. Good news for me. They also do not bite, so I have nothing to worry about. They are not venomous, they are not poisonous. This is a completely safe species to handle if you happen to find one in the tide pool.
So Coyote, how rare is a gumboot?
That's a good question. I have never come across a gumboot before, and I've come across many chitin species. The only time you'll find these giants is when the tide has receded out to its lowest interval. That allowed us today to get up underneath some big rocks, and that's where I found this guy and got up close for the cameras. Definitely one of the coolest creatures that we have featured on Beyond the Tide. Now, this is the largest chitin species in the world, and they can grow to be 14 inches in length and weigh as much as 4.5 pounds. How about that for a giant?
So what eats these? Does anything eat one of these?
Small crabs will eat along the edges of this animal's body, but from what marine biologists have observed, it doesn't seem to necessarily injure or distract this creature from moving along the ocean floor.
So it doesn't have a whole lot of predators, what you're saying?
No, but here's an interesting fact that you may not know. The gumboot is actually edible if you're human.
Ooh.
Believe it or not, in a worst case scenario, let's say you're stranded on an island and you've run out of coconuts and crabs and you find a gumboot, this internal fleshy area is edible. Although I have to imagine it would taste pretty gross. I mean, just that name, gumboot, I'm imagining it's like eating a very chewy boot that probably has the taste of disgusting ocean water.
Well,
Wow.
we're headed back to shore tonight, so we're gonna have pizza.
Yeah, I'm gonna eat pizza tonight and not a gumboot. Well, I would definitely say that this was one epic excursion, exploring Doe Island, where we came across more marine species than we've ever featured on an episode of Beyond the Tide. Oh, look at this, the tide is coming back in, which means it's time to put the animals back into the ocean. Exploring along the shoreline of Doe Island, we came across some fascinating marine animals. Species like the gumboot chitin and purple sea star are rarely exposed, so it's only when the tide is at its absolute lowest that creatures like this can be encountered and safely admired. If you come across either of these two in the wild, remember that they are completely harmless. However, it's always best to simply admire them from a respectful distance so that you do not disturb their natural behavior cycle. Massive rock formations towered like prehistoric giants as intense waves crashed upon the jagged outcrops. At high tide, the southern coastline of Africa is an unforgiving landscape that has been carved over millions of years. Yet when the tide rolls back, with it recedes the violence of the turbulent water, leaving behind an intricate catacomb of intertidal pools that are teeming with aquatic life. Today we are exploring a stretch of pristine shoreline known as Kenton-on-Sea, a magical place where the South Atlantic meets the Indian Ocean, and to say the least, it's breathtakingly beautiful. The sand was flawless, the waves of water were warm, and with any luck, we would happen upon and get up close with a variety of bizarre tide pool creatures. The tide is going out at this point. Looks like it's still coming in, but it's actually the best time to search for animals. When all the rocks are still saturated, that means that the animals are still comfortable, which gives us the best chance of actually catching them. The water trapped within the individual pools was crystal clear. So as I scouted from pocket to pocket, I carefully scanned the overhanging ledges and shadowy nooks. If there was ever a place for a sea beast to hide, I was determined to be the seeker. We've got a decent-sized crab down here in this little rock pool. There's actually a little blenny next to it as well, which is a small little fish that'll oftentimes sit on the edges of these little cliffs. It's tempting to not go for them both at the same time. We'll see what happens. I'm really after the crab though. I'm gonna use this net because it's a deep pocket of water.
Oh.
Got it! Yes! Yeah. Wow, what a scoop! I almost got the blenny at the same time. All right, that's a pretty decent sized little crab right there. Look at you. Look at those distinct striped markings on the legs. Now I'm gonna actually have to look this one up in a field guide. I'm not sure exactly what species it is. Let me keep it in the net like that just for a second. Uh-oh. Oh.
Nice guy.
Okay, and I lost him. Hold on. Oh, I got a blenny, 2 of them. Okay, game on. All right, well,
Lost the crab, got a blenny.
Oh, there's the crab. Got him. Now I've got the crab and some blennies. Wow, hold on, that's how I got away the first time. Look at that, how's about that for cleaning up your mess? All right, well, this is really panning out well for us. Look at these guys. Come here, buddy. I got 2 of them in 1 scoop. All right, let me keep the crab underneath the net. He'll be fine. They can breathe out of water. Look at that. Those are blennies. Those are super cool. They almost look like mud skippers or like an eel-type fish. Notice the elongated shape of the body. Kind of looks like a prickleback. And they do have those long dorsal ridge fins that run down the length of their backs. They actually can breathe for a short amount of time out of the water, so we don't have to worry about them just resting up on my hand. And they can actually skip from pocket of water to pocket of water. What they'll oftentimes do is exactly, oh my gosh, there's an octopus. Nobody move. That's a huge octopus. Okay,
Sure.
I'm 100% positive. I'm gonna let the crab go. All right, I'm going for the octopus, guys. We're abandoning the crab.
I see him.
Nobody move. I can see its tentacle. Mario, if you crouch down here, you might be able to get a shot. Actually, I wonder if I can use my GoPro. He's wedged right into that little cavity.
You see?
Yeah. Okay, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna actually place my net up in this area, try to reach my arm around and scare him up into the net. Now the good thing is that none of the octopus species here in South Africa are lethal to humans. Keep in mind, if we were in Australia and that was a blue ring octopus, I would not be performing this maneuver. Now, all octopus are capable of biting, all are venomous, but hopefully this one doesn't decide to give me a nip.
He's out, he's right there. He's right there. He's right here.
I see him. Oh! Dude. You see him? Where? Right there. He's moving. Right there. He's coming from here. There he is. You got him. Got it! Yes! Woo! How about that? Well, the tactic worked. Gently coax him out of one pocket and into the next, and there you have it. We have got ourselves an octopus. Wow. I'm gonna actually let him out of the net and onto my arm. Hopefully I do not take a bite. There you go, buddy. Now they do have a little beak on their underside that of course he could give me a bite with, but the venom of this species is non-lethal. This is the common octopus. They can get bigger than this, but to be honest with you guys, this is the largest octopus I have ever caught, and it is on the move. Wow, look at it, just showing us its valves. Right now I'm trying to keep it as calm as I can. I don't want it to ink, and look how it's turning dark in coloration, but if I do this, check this out. Set it down, and sort of try to corral it into this pool. What it wants to feel is like it's protected. Look at that color change. Within a matter of seconds, it completely morphs the shape of its body and its coloration. Got an okay shot there?
Yeah.
This is actually great. You can see it pumping water through the valves on the side of its head. If I keep it like this, it will feel more comfortable. They want to feel concealed. Wow, look at that. And they want to feel like they are hidden. And just like if I were to handle a snake, I want to go one hand to the next. Octopus have 8 tentacles, and one of the coolest things about these creatures is that if they lose a tentacle, they can rejuvenate it. Wow, that is so cool, like a big slimy booger. All right, I'm gonna place it back down into this pocket of water. Here we go, keep in position, and I'm getting totally slimed right now. All right, now if I just keep my hand positioned, watch the way that it will actually slink. I guess it's gonna go over my arm. I thought he was gonna go under my arm. And as the tide goes out, if these animals are stuck in a shallow pool, they can do this. Slink from pocket of water to pocket of water. That is so cool. Now, one of the key defense tactics of all octopuses for plural, is that they can actually eject ink. And that allows them the ability to disappear into a rock crevice or back into the ocean waters. Now, if the octopus needs to, it can actually stay out of the water for a significant amount of time. And the only reason you'd ever find an octopus out of water is if it's moving from tide pool to tide pool. As that tide recedes, the octopus, if it's not in a deep enough pocket, will oftentimes try to find itself back out into the ocean currents. All right, buddy, time to get you back into your pocket.
As I released the octopus back into its watery realm, we witnessed an incredible sight. The most classic octopi defense maneuver, ink and jet.
Whoa.
Just got ink.
And as it disappeared back into the cavernous rocks, I came to the realization that never before had a single pool of ocean water provided us with so many species. This isolated miniature biome was an absolute goldmine of bizarre aquatic creatures, and I felt incredibly fortunate to have successfully gotten so many of them up close for the cameras. Yet little did we know, the adventure wasn't quite over. As we meandered our way back to the production vehicles, we stumbled upon the one creature I had always dreamed of finding in a tide pool.
Oh my gosh, a shark.
Oh my gosh, a shark.
Get Mario. I can't believe that. I'm like, this is so cool. I look over, I'm like, it's a shark.
The camera team is just returning. I think the goal here is going to be to catch the shark, look at it very quickly, and then actually release it back out into the deeper water. We definitely don't want to stress it out or try to handle it for too long, but this is so cool. A shark in a tide pool. All right, guys, so this is super crazy. We just got finished filming with an octopus, and there is a shark in this pocket of water. That is a spotted gully shark. Now, they are bottom feeders, and unlike great white sharks or tiger sharks, they only have small little blunted teeth. So it should be okay for me to gently pick up this shark. Are you guys ready?
Yep.
I have no idea how fast it's gonna move. I'm gonna actually not use my net and try to grab it by the back of the tail. They have very sandpaper-like skin, so I should be able to grip onto it no problem.
Heads up.
Okay, I got a hold of it there. Bringing it up. Hey, buddy, look at that.
Whoa.
That is the first shark we have ever caught or featured on the Brave Wilderness channel. What a beautiful fish. Now, the way that I can tell that this is a spotted gully shark, see all those black spots? Pretty obvious, right? And they usually have a very light colored belly. They also have very distinct triangular pectoral fins, very distinct triangular dorsal fin, and then a second fin on the rear part of its tail that's almost as tall as the actual dorsal fin. All right, I'm gonna dunk it back down. It's being very calm. That is so cool.
The spotted gully shark is a species of hound shark that can often be found in shallow inshore waters. They favor sandy tide pools, such as the ones we have been exploring, and occasionally find themselves marooned when the tide drops.
When you run your fingers in one direction across the skin, it's smooth, but if you go in reverse direction, it feels just like sandpaper. Go ahead, Mark. Pet the shark. Go one way.
Wow.
Right?
Very rough.
Like a fine grit sandpaper right there. Now, this shark has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 gill slits. Now, when we're talking about the teeth of this creature, it's almost like a cheese grater. What they feed on are small crustaceans and other animals on the basin of the ocean. And actually, this is one of those rare occasions where I could probably be bitten by a shark and be just fine. They oftentimes will hunt in tide pools, just sifting along the bottom for small crabs and other mollusks. Let me dip it again. Woo, that is so cool, being able to handle a shark. Okay, buddy, there you go, there you go.
At nearly 3 feet in length, this shark is considered a juvenile, yet they can reach lengths of nearly 6 feet and are primarily active at night, feeding on crustaceans, small fish, and cephalopods such as octopuses.
Bring the shark back up here.
Man, a tide pool shark.
So cool, right? Now, you may be saying to yourselves, Coyote, is this shark permanently marooned in this tide pool? No, actually the tide is on its way back in right now. Once the water gets deep enough, it will be able to move to the next pocket or out in the ocean if it chooses to. But what a cool opportunity for us to get a shark up close for the cameras. Talk about topping off a day of tide pooling here in South Africa. All right, buddy, let's put him back in the environment and get some cool shots of it swimming around. There you go. Wow, that's awesome.
As I released the shark into a deeper pocket of water, I could hardly believe that this was the ultimate conclusion to our epic day of tide pooling. And as its silhouette disappeared into the current, I watched with a childlike wonder and a sense of gratitude for the path that led the team and I to this moment in time, which marked the day we finally found and caught a tide pool shark.
Nice, down into the depths of that pool. Wow, the first shark on Brave Wilderness. That was epic. Woo, tide's coming in, let's go, guys.
Yeah! Mario! What'd you think of that? Yeah!
The Hawaiian Islands, simply put, are cinematic. Forged from the earth by molten lava, there are 8 land masses in total, and on this adventure, we will be exploring on the remote island of Kauai. A literal paradise, this diverse location has been the backdrop for many movies and television series, but today, it will be the backdrop for Beyond the Tide.
Oh man, this is pretty epic.
Check out the rain over there. It's going into the mountains.
Yeah, well, as long as that stays that way, I think we're good, because where we want to head is right up here into this rock bed and start looking for marine creatures. All right, guys, our first Beyond the Tide episode in Hawaii. I'm pretty excited. Let's move.
Under the light of day when the tide pulls back from the shoreline, intertidal pools can be the perfect place to find hidden marine animals. However, under the cover of darkness, these animals emerge from their hiding spots to search for food, which makes exploring the tide pools at night the perfect time to get up close and personal with some seriously bizarre creatures.
Whew, all right, well, we have made it to the shoreline, and let's go with the path of least resistance on this one and go this way. That looks like a bunch of tangles of trees, and that looks like open shoreline. All right, start moving. Wow, look at this. The overhanging leaves on the shoreline are pretty, there's a crab. Oh!
There it goes.
Ghost crabs. You see how fast those were? Look at the structure. This is all real soft sand. You see that?
Oh yeah.
And then there are these different hard rock masses. Very different than anything we've explored before. This is not. That's very grippy. Sand is very soft.
How deep is it out there?
Not too deep right here, but it's warm. It's warm water. We're used to tide pooling in freezing cold water, so it's not gonna be too bad getting soaking wet tonight. And I think it's just a matter of time before we find the right pools to start exploring in. All right, let's head up. Oh, there's another crab. Look at that. You see it?
Where?
Running along the edge there. Man, we have got to
yeah.
catch one of those ghost crabs. All right, let's just keep heading this direction.
You get it?
Got it.
All right, let's go. Let's go.
Wow, okay.
Oh man, they're everywhere.
They are everywhere. You can see how fast they are. Here, bring the light in. They're called ghost crabs, in my opinion, because they're so fast they disappear like a ghost in the wind. And we've seen them skittering all over the sand. And I snuck up on that one and actually used the same tactic I've used with frogs, where I keep a bright light right on its eyes. It kind of keeps it stunned right there in place, and I was able to actually get my hand on it, and then it tried to pinch me, I let go, and it ran down into these rocks, and I just managed to get a hand on top of it.
I had a pretty good shot. I saw you try to go for it, and then it ran behind you.
You saw that? Yeah, dude, it had like this zigzag movement. It was like, and went right around me, but there you have it, our first marine creature of the night, a ghost crab. It's interesting, he's got his eyes tucked in right now, but these eye stalks are rather pretty. Let me see if I can get him to put your eyes up. Watch this.
Oh, wow.
See that? Now, I don't know how good their eyesight is, but they can sense light and movement, certainly, and it appears that too much light forces it to just stay in one spot. Wow. My hand's actually kind of shaking. That was a tough catch.
What a cool crab.
Right?
What big eyes you have.
Yes, Mr. Crab. What large eyes you have.
That's cool, man.
Well, all right. Our first marine creature of the night, a ghost crab. You guys want to see how fast this little thing runs?
Let's see it.
Watch this. Put it right down in the sand, and it's going to bolt into the water. Whoa. Cool. Now, a lot of times in tidepool episodes, we're flipping rocks, but look down at the ground here.
It's all sand.
It's a lot of sand, and the rocks that we do have, like this, are massive, and they're not exactly flippable. So, what I do have is this net. We're gonna wade out into the shallow water and see if we can get something inside. You ready?
Let's do it.
All right.
With our lights scanning the shallow waters, we carefully made our way through the maze of rocks. And all of a sudden, we came across our next animal.
Got something over here.
What do you got?
It's like a slug. Ooh, no, it's a sea cucumber. All right, guys, follow my hand down here right into the water.
Oh, yeah.
You see it right here? There it is. All right, I'm gonna pick it up really slowly. You ready? Oh, come here, buddy. There we go. Wow, that is a good sized sea cucumber. Totally stretched out, I would say this. Whoa,
Oh!
look at it squirting water. That's not pee, that is excess water from inside of its body. Let me turn it for you like that. Oh, it's like a tremor. Look at that beast. Now, this is the most common sea cucumber species here in Hawaii, and one that I hoped that we would come across. Underwater, you can see that they have all these little bumps. It's what makes them look like a cucumber. And I keep saying sea cucumber, and you're probably thinking, well, is it a vegetable or is it an animal? Mark, do you know?
I don't want to eat it.
No, well, actually, you can eat the sea cucumber.
Really?
But the sea cucumber is not a vegetable, it is an animal. They're actually in the same phylum as sea urchins and sea stars. Now, let me see. One end is the anus and one end is the mouth. I do believe this is the anus, also known as a butt. I think it just farted, actually. And this is the mouth. No, really, I heard it.
Really?
Yeah, I heard it. It farted on me. Now, this end here is the mouth, and these creatures are very similar to the terrestrial earthworm in that they're moving along the basin of the ocean, and they're literally eating through one end, and they feed by bringing sand into their body, and then they're absorbing all the algae and all the decomposing plant matter that's on the base of the ocean. And as they're moving along, it's processing through the length of the body, and then being pooped out on this end in these little tiny sand pebbles. And sure enough, here's some right here. And I'm gonna pick it up, okay?
That's sand.
Nope, this is poop. I'm gonna get a whole handful of it
Why are you touching it?
because I want to show you guys what sea cucumber poop looks like. Oh man, look at that. It just crumbles in my fingers. Hold on. Let me get a little turn here. Very slowly. That right there. Yep. That is deposited sea cucumber droppings right there.
Oh.
It just smells like sand. And basically the sand filters through their body, they absorb their nutrients from the plants that are growing on the sand, and then they continue about their business. Now, like I said, this is the most common sea cucumber species here in Hawaii. There are around 50 different species and around 1,200 species worldwide. But the one that I'm really looking for tonight is the white spotted sea cucumber. It's very cool looking. So we're gonna put this guy back into the water and see if we can find one of those white spotted ones. Sound good?
Let's do it.
All right. Bye, big guy. Thanks for squirting water on me. All right, guys, come here, check this out.
What do you got?
Our second cucumber species of the night. You see right here?
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna slowly bring it off the rock. Got a good shot?
Yep, much different looking.
That is a white spotted. Whoa! There goes the water excretion. Look at it deflate, just like a water balloon with a hole in it. And that's the butt right there. And that's the mouth. Now this is the white spotted cucumber, another very common species here in the Hawaiian tide pools. Now what makes this sea cucumber very unique is it actually has 5 teeth in its butt.
What? Why? Why would
Heard
it?
me right.
Why would it have teeth in its butt?
Are you done? Now, these teeth are not used for feeding, they're actually used as a defense. Now there's a parasitic fish out here called a pearlfish that will actually try to swim inside of its butt and then feast off of its organs.
Ew. Well, I'm glad it has the teeth then, because that wouldn't be very fun.
No, things swimming up your butt, eating your organs, not a good day. But let's turn this little white spotted sea cucumber this direction and look at his face. Hi, buddy. Kind of look like an elephant trunk, don't you? Now, I love these ones, and you can clearly see where they get the name white spotted cucumber. So it has little white spots, little bumpy patches all over its back. Those do help with camouflage in the tide pool. Now, they do get quite a bit bigger than this, but any sea cucumber is a cool cucumber in my book.
I see what you did there.
Yeah, that's a little pun. All right, well, should we put this one back into the water and see what else we can find?
Let's do it.
All right.
Cucumbers are everywhere.
Give its 2 feet a second to grip on there. Here you go, buddy. All right, let's keep moving. Watch out for sea urchins. Whoa, look at this. Okay, it's turning into the night of the sea cucumbers. This is not what I was expecting to find. Hold on a second. Can you see this right here? That is a warty sea cucumber. Now, a lot of its warts are gonna disappear when I pick it up. Look at that.
That is awesome.
Wow! Oh my gosh, I can feel all its little 2 feet gripping onto my fingers. That is so cool. All right, I'm gonna lift it up a little bit higher, very gently. That may be the most bizarre looking marine creature. Oh, it's making a fart noise. Hello. I know, you're right in the middle of dinner, eating all sorts of plant matter. Dead stuff on the bottom of the ocean. I can't even believe what I'm holding right now. You seeing this? That thing is so bizarre looking.
Oh.
A warty sea cucumber. Just when you thought the big black sea cucumber was bizarre, we find this thing. I think this is the mouth, and this is the butt. It's tough to tell on this one.
Yeah,
but,
how do you tell which is which?
well, usually the mouth will actually extend out. I believe this is the mouth, and they have these little tentacles that they use. Yeah, this is the head. Here we go, look, maybe he's gonna show us his tentacles. Are your tentacles gonna come out? No, guess not. But they use it like a little vacuum cleaner, like to eat up a bunch of sand. They just process it through their bodies. And then what's really cool about all sea cucumbers that I know of is that they actually breathe through their butts. Can you see his butt there?
That's a butt, and that's where it breathes?
Yep, you see that? You see there's air coming out. That's why I'm hearing that farting noise.
Oh my gosh, it is.
Right?
I thought you were kidding.
Nope, breathes through its butt. Crazy gross, but crazy awesome. Oh, there you go. It's excreting a little bit of its excess water. You can see the body is deflating now at this point. It's kind of just turning into a gelatinous mass. This thing is crazy awesome. Oh, look at this, look at this.
What's happening?
That's its mouth. Here it comes.
sticking his head out. Hey, buddy. And you can see all these little tentacles up front here.
Oh yeah.
They're contracted in, but when he's underwater,
Oh, it's opening its
he's
mouth.
leaking on me.
It's opening its mouth. Something's happening.
That's its mouth. That's its mouth right there. You see that? That is crazy. Similar to the sea slugs that we've shown you guys before. And remember, this is not a slug. It's related to sea stars and sea urchins. When they're in the water, they actually take their true form. Watch this. I'm going to set it back down in here, and it's going to go from a blob of jello back into a sea cucumber. Dude, this is the coolest thing I've ever
Look, you can see it. You
ever
can see
seen.
the tentacles come out of his face.
Oh yeah, look at that, look at that. You see all his tentacles up front there?
Yep.
That's
Yep.
its mouth, look at that. You can see all the tube feet better underwater like that. Actually, if I keep it underwater like this, look at all those tube feet on the underside. Those are all like little itty bitty suction cups that help it to slowly move along the basin of the ocean.
Looks like it has a mustache.
It does. It looks like a big walrus mustache. Let me touch those. Those are little sensory organs.
Now, can it bite you?
No, sea cucumbers do not bite.
Oh, I can see all its little warts or appendages have come back.
Oh yeah. See that? Now it's completely taken the sea cucumber form. Look how long this one is. Look at its body fully stretched out. That is impressive. What an amazing creature. I'm in complete awe of this thing right now. Hold on, I'm just holding on my arm. There we go. So cool. I love sea cucumbers. They're becoming my new favorite marine creature. Fascinating. And there are around 1,200 species worldwide and 50 in Hawaii alone. How cool is that?
Wow.
Yeah, you guys have a lot of sea cucumbers here. I mean, we've only been exploring for what, hour and a half, and we've come across 3 species already? It's pretty awesome. All right, buddy. Back off into the ocean with you. Exploring tide pools under the darkness of night was incredibly rewarding. And the animal activity was unlike anything we had encountered before. And while sea cucumbers may not be the fastest moving creature you can come across, I think it's safe to say that what they lack in speed, they definitely make up for with their bizarre appearance. Killer whale, blackfish, orca. No matter how you address this animal, its name commands respect. My entire life I have had a fascination with this majestic creature, and I would often picture myself one day having the chance to see them in the wild. This is my account of that vision taking shape and coming true. All right, guys, this is it. The moment that we've been waiting for. The gear's loaded up, it's time to hop on board and head out on the water to search for orcas. Hop on. All right. Cool, let's head on out.
Let's do it. We launching? Oh wow, that fast, huh?
We're launching, oh
Here we
yeah.
go.
We gotta find the whales.
He said they're fast and they're far away, so
All right.
we gotta get to them.
So how far are we going?
We're going a ways. We're going close to 40 miles.
All right, Papa Bo says we're heading out about 40 miles to search for the orcas. Now you may notice that the entire crew is wearing red caps. That's because they love the Wes Anderson movie, Life Aquatic with Steve Zissou, which is also one of my favorite movies. So today we've got kind of Team Zissou here. This is Papa Bo, our captain. Say hi, Bo.
Yeah, welcome aboard.
We got Jason back here. He's gonna be rowing my kayak.
Yes, indeed.
And that's my main man, Bobby. He's gonna be kayaking Mark around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Woo! Yeah, high
Do
five to
this.
you, buddy.
Today we are heading out onto the Salish Sea, an intricate network of coastal waterways that includes the southwestern portion of British Columbia and the northwestern portion of the United States. With the sun casting a beautiful glow across the water, we motored north into the Strait of Georgia as we search for a calm stretch of sea to safely launch our kayaks.
Slow up, Jason. Slow up. Slow up. There you go.
All right, so we're motoring out of this area. You can see we're surrounded by all sorts of really dangerous current. This could be a good area to look for orcas. However, we cannot bring the kayaks into the water like this. Captain Bo tells me that this will literally suck you down about 100 feet into the water and will kill you instantly. So we're gonna motor out of this and keep searching.
It took some time, but we finally found a spot where Captain Bo felt comfortable setting us out onto the ocean.
All right, Bo, so we need a brief explanation. This is the first time that we've gone into the water with the top marine predator that's out there. Now, we know that a killer whale has never attacked a human, but safety first is always a protocol. Plus, we need to respect the distance that we get from these whales. So explain to us a little bit exactly what we should be doing out there.
Sure thing. Well, we're going to be launching you here from Blackfish, our mothership today. Sending you guys out with training guides, Bobby and Jason, and they're going to be leading you out into this area where we have some really good intel about presence of killer whales. We really want to respect their environment. We're going into an area where they're known to feed for large king salmon, and we're just going to set you guys loose, see what you can find. I'm confident that we can probably find an encounter here today. There's a report of 30 to 40 animals in the region. When we encounter them, we're just gonna really be respectful of what they're doing, what's going on. They have a hard job out here finding fish in the big ocean. So we're gonna get out there, see what we see, and really enjoy whales in the wild.
All right, sounds great. Well, I am ready.
Let's paddle.
Let's get those kayaks into the water. You guys ready?
Yeah, good luck, guys.
Let's do it.
I could feel my heart rate increasing as I stepped from the Blackfish and down into my kayak.
Ready?
This was it. No turning back now.
I'm in.
All right, you ready?
Let's do it.
With cameras in hand, Mark and I were poised to get the best shots we could. That is, if we were lucky enough to come upon any whales.
All right, guys, we are on the water and it's time to begin our search. Jason, you ready?
Yes, I am.
Thumbs up, Mark, you good?
Let's go.
All right, let's do this.
As we set out on the water, we paddled with purpose, hoping that maybe, just maybe off in the distance, we would catch the glimpse of a black dorsal fin breaching the water's surface, as one of these magnificent predators came up for a breath of air and then disappeared back into the unknown.
It's actually pretty smooth rowing. That'd be a little rougher than this. I mean, these little chops aren't too bad to deal with, are they?
No, it's good paddling conditions out here right now.
Coyote, you seen anything?
Nothing yet.
We steadily paddled north toward Canada, and while it seemed like radioing back to the Blackfish for pickup was a wise thing to do, we decided to keep going. It was this very choice that placed us on a watery road toward fate and an animal encounter that we would never forget.
All right, guys, we actually have some killer whales just off the side of the kayaks here, probably within about 200 yards. Wow, I can see the dorsal fins breaching. Mark, can you see that?
Wow.
It's a matter of just staying here, being calm, seeing if the whales get curious and come closer to us. We're just gonna kind of drift on the waves here and see what happens.
When it comes to encountering orcas in the wild, there are very strict rules and regulations that boaters must respect. These guidelines assure not only the safety for those operating their watercrafts, but even more importantly, the safety and well-being of the animals.
Jason, you seen anything back there?
It's beautiful conditions, and I've heard a few blows. There's some whales up ahead, and it looks like there might be some behind us.
Oh wow, we got an orca right here. Just less than 100 yards right off the side of the kayak. Did you see that?
Yeah.
Wow. Woo, that was awesome. Did not expect that. I was looking much further out.
Oh, there's a breach!
Got it. Got it.
Wow. Did you get that?
Yeah, I got that.
All right, guys, so we have some killer whales just off to my right here. You can see them breaching, blowing water up into the air. You've got the setting sunlight. It is absolutely epic. Whoa, they're a lot bigger once you get down into the water, aren't they?
They're huge, like a bus.
Orcas are incredibly intelligent, and pods, which are usually composed of related females, have a great ability to work together and an amazing instinct to protect members of their community. Their society is intricate, dedicated, and perfectly adapted to being the ocean's top predator.
Okay, we're surrounded, Coyote.
This is amazing. We are surrounded by orcas right now, guys.
A toothed whale, and the largest species of dolphin in the world, there are 3 different types: resident, transient, and offshore. The distinction comes in the shape of their dorsal fin and the design of their saddle patch, which is the grayish marking just behind and below the dorsal fin.
Whoa!
Wow. That's a huge male. Did you see that?
Yeah.
There's the whale.
Whoa.
That one's coming right at
This
us.
one's coming right at us, man. So what do? We just stay put?
Yeah, we just have to stay put. We don't know where they're gonna come up.
Right there, right there, right there. Woo! That is awesome!
For nearly 20 minutes, the pod graced us with their presence as they continuously breached the waves, took a breath, and then dove back beneath the surface. I kept my focus on the water, and I distinctly remember holding my breath as I hoped for just one more chance to film the magic. Yet just as quickly as they had arrived, they seemed to have disappeared.
All right, guys, well, the light is getting low, and it's time for us to row back toward the main boat, where we saw some amazing killer whales today. They got so close as we were just drifting along on the waves. We had a pod buzz right past us, heading that direction. Wow, that was absolutely incredible. Woo! Yeah. That was epic, guys. Yeah! Man, that's crazy. It is unbelievable how big they are. They come out of nowhere. You're like watching one in one direction, and then all of a sudden, psh, one comes up just behind you.
You can sense their presence, like you know they're there.
Yeah, it's pretty epic.
As we safely climbed from our kayaks and back on board the Blackfish, I could feel an overwhelming sense of thankfulness for the universe as it led us toward this fateful moment in time. Such an epic day, getting deployed out into the ocean, kayaking for several hours, and then having a pod of orcas come right up alongside the kayaks is a moment that I will never forget. I'm Coyote Peterson. Be brave, stay wild. We'll see you on the next adventure. The killer whale, the blackfish, the orca. No matter how you choose to address this beautiful animal, it is undoubtedly the top predator of the world's oceans. Their elegance and timeless beauty are unmatched in the animal kingdom. And when you see a family pod in the wild, their presence touches your heart in a way that cannot be described in words. I know that for as long as I live, I will never forget the first moment I spotted that black dorsal fin cutting through the waves, and the thrill of how it felt to be in the presence of orcas. If you would like the chance to encounter orcas in the wild, make sure to contact Outer Island Excursions and book your whale watching or kayaking tour today.